I thought we'd just have a little exploration today, just to see if we can notice what we are. So we tend to take our relative experience, this sort of point of view, and how the mind narrates from that point of view to be who we are. So that's a valid experience. It's not that it's not happening, but it's not who you are. So to recognize what you are is to not be so faithful to that point of view, to inquire into what's prior to or primary or what doesn't change, what's fundamental, what's always here. And I would offer, to begin with, it's down to attention. Attention is on that relative point of view. It's going to keep reinforcing this idea of a separate self me because it's sort of looking through a lens of separation, speaking from that point of view. Again, totally valid for that point of view. But what you are is that's aware of that point of view, aware of thoughts, or the knowing of them. And in the beginning, it can feel like a backward step, a movement backwards into almost a witnessing, that's aware of all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions. There can be a little gap now created. When we're identifying, so it's not that somebody's identifying. So when there's identification added to the thoughts, then that's that experience of my thoughts. So if we can just get some distance through not applying the personalization to the thoughts, we've got a chance to see that they're just appearing, that they have no independent power, that we are that's aware of them. Just the simple knowing. Prior to identification added, the thoughts are just neutral, effortlessly arising. So now we turn our attention to what's aware, not a concept or a thought, an idea of what we are, because we can't confine what we are to a thought, to an idea or a concept. Just like water is not confined to the label water, to the idea of what water is, the description of what water is. It can't be confined to that. What we are can't be confined to an idea about itself. So we've got to be that's the actual direct experience of what we are. So it's actually just a resting as what we are. Because there's effort to conceptualize, whereas just resting as what we are is effortless. So that's a nice indicator. You can have a look at what's effortless, what doesn't feel like it takes effort, that it's a contraction, that it's a doing. Look at what's already the case, what's effortless and what's already here, prior to effort. What knows effort? That in which effort appears. So you could say it's effortless being, but effortless being isn't again, we can then put a concept on that effortless being. I know I did. And so it becomes something to attain. But actually, effortless being is just a natural mode of being that the human experience can have. That what we are can have as a human being, just effortlessly being what we are, prior to the idea of what we are. But there's something that isn't an experience, because you could say effortless being is a bit of an experience. It feels quite blissful and easeful and effortless. But there's something that's even deeper. It's almost as if we diffuse from that sense of that we simply are just here now. It can feel like a little position, this backward movement, this position that's aware of all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions. It can still feel like a me, and that's again just how life is experiencing itself. But it's almost as if we diffuse or we open up to the spaciousness, the formless knowing, without then creating another concept out of that, as if it's something that we go to. It's just revealing itself really when the movements are no longer taken to be who we are. These movements of contraction and openness are movements within. So the opening up is actually revealing what was always the case. It's not that we close down and open up, but that's how it can feel. And it's okay as a stepping stone. So we can feel like we're in this position of witnessing. But we just notice that position, that what we are isn't a position, that what we are is in direct experience, that can't be named, can't be pinned down with a concept. We're starting to recognize our true nature prior to concepts, thoughts, and ideas. And it's as if all of the forms dissolve really. And anything I say is a limitation. Is just a pointer now. Is not the raw direct experience, is a limitation. So it's just resting as what you are prior to any concept. Not even awareness. Just, you could say non-conceptual awareness, but then allow that to peel away. And it's not that somebody's noticing what they are, it's just what you are reveals itself. And that you simply are, and even that again is too much. What you are simply is. Again, that's too much. But these pointers are just offered for us to recognize what they're pointing to. It's not somebody that's recognizing. It's just life itself, knowing itself. And just peel away all of that. See what remains. So I thought I'd just share some way of pointing to our fundamental nature that doesn't come and go, that isn't a state to keep, isn't something we need to hold on to. It just simply is effortlessly what we are already. It's what everybody is, not something to attain. It reveals itself when attention isn't on the ever-changing. Feeling into that doesn't change. Timeless, formless. Peel away all those labels, all those pointers. See what remains. Not as a thing to grasp or try and label. It's just what's already here. And the grasping is no longer being entertained. Just effortlessly what we are. I hope this helps, and thanks for watching.